Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited. You know what's coming up this weekend?
What's that?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it is.
And later in the program, we've got somebody that's going to be sharing some Valentine's humor with us. We've got Dr. Allen Unruh, and I actually know this guy, funny guy, and he's got some Valentine's one-liners to share with us. So we'll be doing that, and he's going to tell us about a book that he has coming up. Also, take a listen to this. 2 teenagers in Boulder, Colorado were arrested on a variety of charges after they allegedly tried to charge people $1 to cross a bridge.
Oh.
An off-duty police officer refused to pay. They allegedly threatened to stab him with a broken golf club.
Whoa!
While shouting from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. He called for backup. So
yeah.
They were shouting lines from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. What about lines they were shouting? Anyway, they were charging people $1.
When the
Was that the troll at the bridge?
Yeah, when they're trying to.
So they were shouting those lines, apparently. He called for backup. The kids were arrested. It's $1 to cross this bridge.
It's all fun and games, though, too. Threatening to stab somebody with a broken golf club. That's where they kind of cross the line.
Kind of quickly. Coming up, got some special things happening. We'll tell you what's going on in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Friday, the 12th day of February. Today is Safety Pup Day.
Safety pup.
I think it's a day that you get a little hard hat for your pup. I'm not sure. I have no clue. It is Lincoln's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mr. Lincoln. President Lincoln, you know one of the distinctions that he has? He's the only president to have a car named after him. You know that?
One of my goals in life is for people to still celebrate my birthday after I'm dead, all across the nation. It should be a national holiday.
Heidi's birthday?
Yeah.
Today is Heidi Day. We'll see what we can do. It is Oglethorpe Day today.
What?
Yeah, Oglethorpe Day today. Don't ask. It is also Paul Bunyan Day today. Paul Bunyan was born February 12th, 1834 in Bangor, Maine. So happy Paul Bunyan Day.
I want to live in Bangor, Maine.
I don't. I bet it's
like
cold
that
there.
Name.
No, just kind of cold. Coming up, we're going to talk about interesting stuff for decorating your bathroom. A decorative toilet. Yeah, it's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Here we go. Decorative toilets. At home, maybe. But how about $1 million restroom at school?
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, usually all of us spend a little time in the restroom as possible. We don't like hanging out in there, but we're talking now about a school. And if you think about it, you don't want anybody spending more time in there than they absolutely have to. After all, hall passes were made to create, get there, get back. It wasn't so you had free time to dink around. Anyway, why would a school decorate its bathroom with gold mirrors, green foliage, and decorative plasterwork? Nobody knows. But that is exactly what happened in Manchester. Whaley Range High School for Girls in Manchester, England, is doing just that. Turns out the principal thinks that the restrooms say a lot about the organization, so she wants them to look good. She says the kids love it. They look after them with respect. She says the art design will now be moving on to the rest of the school, and the purple and gold paint effects have already been added to the entrance hall, along with Roman columns and decorative plasterwork on the walls. So I hope this is a private school.
Yeah, it sounds like it's one of those expensive.
Must be. Whaley Range High School for Girls.
You know what? That's all right.
Manchester.
As long as they're not doing it with
Wait a minute.
Public funds. Who
Manchester.
cares?
Isn't that where you guys were pretending to be from?
Yeah.
We were at a mall not too long ago, and my wife and my daughter and my son were talking with your British accent. Say you're from Manchester.
No.
Come on.
Why do you do this to me
strangers
all the time?
You did this in public with people around. What are you talking about?
But nobody knew me.
Nobody knows you here either. I want to say your name like 18 times a day. Anyway,
Anyway, it was fun.
Yeah, they were pretending to be from Manchester, and I couldn't keep a straight face because I'm a terrible liar, so I had to just pretend to be the guy they were
Yeah,
visiting.
We're like,
in
we're
the
just
US.
visiting you. Don't even
I'm
do
from
it.
Manchester.
You're going to blow our
And
cover.
I'm like, you are not. You are not. Anyway, this happened in Manchester, England. Manchester. I still can't do it. Anyway, they have $1 million bathroom in a school, and you know it's true because you heard about it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs, tailgating. Now, there's two different types of tailgating. Like before a game, sitting on a tailgate, that's good. But if you're driving right behind somebody tailgating, that's bad. And that's bad all the time. But it's really bad when you're tailgating a police car. And it's really bad when you're tailgating a police car while you're stoned. Yeah. Indiana, Tyrone Gales and Andrew Ashley were tailgating a car cruising along Interstate 65. The car they were tailgating happened to be a deputy. And it was a marked patrol car. So it's not like this was an undercover sting.
wow.
The deputy was nice enough to slow down and change lanes to let them pass. Instead, the boys pulled over and stopped. When Deputy Weisner approached the car to assist them, he noticed they had switched drivers. Upon further notice, he smelled the odor of burnt marijuana.
Oh, my
A search of the car
goodness.
turned a duffel bag containing $13,000 in cash, 5 grams of marijuana, and it resulted in a free ride to jail.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah. Kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Got your moment of duh here, and it's a 24-year-old DJ, radio DJ, by the name of Paul Webster Feinstein. He was volunteering at a community radio station in Texas, and the tunes that he were playing weren't the only thing that were getting hot. Paul was very upset that the music that he had picked for the overnight intern program had been changed. Guess how mad he was, Heidi?
I'm assuming pretty mad if he's in the news.
He's fuming mad. So mad, he went back to the radio station and started the place on fire.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Paul is now facing second-degree felony arson charges, and he won't be able to host his show. This is my favorite part of the story of a guy that freaked out and burned a radio station down. Guess what his show was called?
What?
Mellow Down Easy. Dude, you're not mellow. You're not mellow at all. If you get so mad about the music, you burn the place down.
Oh,
That's
the
bad.
irony.
That is ironic. We got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. 24-year-old female shoplifter in the Belgian city of Antwerp stole over 10 items of clothing, then put the items on and tried to walk out of the store
jeez.
into the searing heat. Security guards noticed her, and she was detained. She had on a jogging suit, a sweater, 4 polo shirts, 3 T-shirts, 4 sleeveless tops, shorts, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah.
Okay, she didn't have that last part.
I don't think you'd probably get away with
Yeah,
that.
that didn't work too hot. More American adults have taken to texting in the last year. I'm still not a fan. I have to do it every once in a while.
I
Not a fan
prefer
of
to
that.
text.
Teens still take the crown when it comes to using their text messaging. 87% of them do it. According to a study among adult cell phone users, 72% are now sending and receiving text messages, up from 65% last year. So that's like a, 7% increase. Teens are also more voracious texters. Wow, that's a hard word to say. That's like a $5 word right there.
That's right.
Voracious texters? 50 messages a day on average, in contrast to the typical 10 messages sent by adults. All right, 42-year-old former car salesman Andrew Bamberg decided to fight a $215 ticket for failing to stop at a sign in Redwood City, California.
Whoa, that's a hefty ticket.
Not that anyone would doubt this car salesman's honesty, but Bamberg submitted photographic evidence to the court that there were no stop signs at the intersection where the alleged infraction took place. Turns out he had presented photos of a different intersection and lied about it in court.
Oh, my gosh.
The traffic commissioner said she would go to the scene herself to investigate, Prosecutors say Bamberg then switched the street signs. He now faces up to a year behind bars for perjury. So this guy really did not want a ticket.
Perjury a year, huh?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Jennifer Hunt of Sweetwater, Tennessee, was arrested on burglary-related charges after a policeman noticed her lurking around a church parking lot. She claims she had just stopped to use the bathroom. But as she started to walk back to her car to get her ID, a crowbar dropped out of her pants, clattering on the pavement. She was arrested. 72-year-old Joan R. Olivio was found behind the counter at Studio 3 Hair Salon. That's okay, other than the fact that it was at 3:20 a.m.
Oh, boy.
That's not a good time to be doing stuff like that. 72-year-old, mind you. The glass in the front door had been broken.
Oh, my gosh.
Olivio, again, 72, was wearing a house coat, some pajamas, slippers, and my favorite part of the outfit, yellow dishwashing gloves.
Well, hey, she didn't want to leave any fingerprints.
She apparently has been watching TV. Olivio, again, 72, said, in here it says the jacket she wore over her house coat had shards of glass on it. She was also holding a hammer. She had a squeegee and a small flashlight. What in the world was she up to? Joan, age 72, I had to keep throwing that in there because it just amazes me that she did this, broke into the salon because they ruined her hair, and she wanted to get the money back to fix it. But there's one problem. Her husband says she actually went to the wrong hair salon.
Oh, no.
Yeah. She was so upset she went to the wrong place.
Oh, that's a shame.
He's in there busting the place up with a hammer at 3:20 a.m.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
All confused.
Well, that's terrible. So she's 72 and they ruined her hair. That's not good.
No.
That's not good at all. Because, I really think there are ladies that'll go and get their hair done, and it looks amazing. And they'll leave it, I couldn't do that. If I had to go get my hair done, I couldn't do it. My hair looks terrible all the time. So I'm sorry to hear that your hair was bad, Joanne, but don't break in with a hammer and do stuff like that. I like that she was wearing dishwashing gloves. I think that's funny. Time for our strange law. From Pocatello, Idaho, the law forbids a person to be seen in public without a smile on their face. It's a happy little town right there.
That is nice.
If you're seen with a frown, they'll kick you out of town. That's in Pocatello, Idaho. You got to smile just by saying Pocatello. I mean, makes you happy right there. That is a strange law, and this has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. I've got a guest today. Today we have Dr. Allen Unruh, and he is a chiropractor, has been since 1970. He's the author of several books as well. If the government doesn't get off our backs, the whole country will need a chiropractor. The First Clean Sex Quote and Joke book, Laughter is the Best Medicine, How to Overcome Adversity, and a new book published by WorldNet Daily coming out in about 6 weeks titled The Politically Incorrect Book of Humor. And it's got 2,500 one-liners, all categorized on almost every political subject. And the book can be ordered on his personal website, AllenUnruh.com. And since we have Valentine's Day coming up this weekend, we're going to be talking today about how to be romantic. Because nobody would be alive if there was no romance, because without romance, how would we have gotten our start, right? So first of all, Dr. Unruh, how are you?
Very good. It's good to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you here. It's always fun to catch up when we get a chance to do this. Now, how long has the study of romance been a problem, Dr. Unruh?
Well, it's been a problem since the beginning of time. Eve said to Adam, "Do you love me?" He said, "Who else?" Adam said to Eve, "Just remember, there's more ribs where you came from." She put on a leaf and said, "Do I look fat in this?" He said, "Listen, I'll wear the plants in this family." He said, "You've done it again, Eve. You put my shorts in the salad." He took his kids to the entrance of the Garden of Eden and said, "There's where your ma ate us out of house and home." But if it wasn't for Adam's rib, we'd never have women's lib. So it's been a problem since biblical times. Even Solomon said to his 10,000 wives and concubines, "Which one of you doesn't have a headache?" It's always been a problem.
So now, are intelligent people more romantic, or is this problem universal?
Well, it's been a problem even for the wisest people have been baffled by this subject. Socrates said, if you marry a good wife, you'll live a good life. If you marry a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. Webster wrote the dictionary because of his wife. Everything he says, she'd say, what's that supposed to mean? And Francis Scott Key, after he wrote the Star-Spangled Banner, his wife said, Francis, why don't you try writing a song people can sing sitting down? I mean,
Now, is being romantic mainly a problem with men, or is this a universal thing too?
well, how many husbands to take to screw in a light bulb? None. They usually procrastinate till you do it yourself. Some guys don't even know what their wife's favorite flower is. I asked a guy that the other day, and he said, I think it's Pillsbury. So you just don't know. One guy said, when I was a kid, a guy said, I knew I loved her when I saw the reflection of the moonlight in her father's shotgun.
We've talked a lot about romance, but let's talk a little bit about divorce. Do you have any advice or comments on that subject?
Well, one guy said, I got married by a judge, but I should have had a jury, I had a guy, 92, he went on a date with an 89-year-old the other day, and her girlfriend called her the next day and said, Mabel, how did it go? She said, well, I had to slap him 3 times. She said, did he get fresh? He said, no, I thought he was dead. One guy said, honey, to prove my love for you, I'm going to swim the widest river, climb the highest mountain, cross the widest desert. She divorced him because he was never home. But love is the most talked about, written about, read about, and sung about subject in the entire world. The paradox is the least understood.
It is.
One woman, an exotic planner. She planned everything. She married one guy who was a millionaire. Then the second husband was a movie star. The third one was a pastor. And her fourth husband was an undertaker. 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go.
Humor and romance go hand in hand. And we've got Dr. Unruh here. Now, it's been very insightful. Do you have any closing comments before I let you go?
Well, seriously, folks, we joke about relationships and the institution of marriage, but facts are current divorce rate's 52%. 3,000 marriages break up every day, and the second marriage, the divorce rate's 67%. Why is it in times of unprecedented affluence, there's more divorce than there was in hard times like the Great Depression? So my assignment to everybody listening is to lie, cheat, steal, and divorce.
Really? That seems bizarre.
You should lie in bed a little longer and be intimate together. You should cheat on your diet at least once a week and take your wife out for a romantic meal and share your week's ups and downs. Steal some time from your busy schedule and every 3 months go on a 72-hour weekend with your spouse and share your dreams together. Divorce yourself from the areas of your life where you're majoring on the minors. What good does it do if you lose your wife and kids, no matter what else you accomplish? And don't forget those 3 words every woman wants to hear every day. Let's eat out.
There you go. Again, Dr. Allen Unruh in the studio. If you'd like to get a copy of one of the books, where can I go? Is it right on your website?
AllenUnruh.com.
All right, AllenUnruh.com. Dr. Unruh, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
If you were to visit the average household, you would find 5 calendars inside. We are below average.
We are way below average.
Although I have a calendar on my phone.
Oh, that doesn't count.
I don't know if that counts or not.
No.
The average household, they say, has 5 calendars inside. We have 1. Unless you count our phones, then we have exactly 5 because we each have a calendar on our phone. And on my computer, I have a calendar, so there's 6. Now we're above average. I don't know how that works, though. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
35% of Self magazine readers admitted they dislike having house guests. Do you like having house guests or dislike it?
I love having house guests.
Yeah, but the part that you like is like hanging out and chatting with them and stuff, but the part you don't like is, I need to tidy things up now because we have somebody coming over.
Yeah.
Tidy Heidi over here. She
That's
freaks
true.
out. She's like,
I don't like that, especially if I have no notice that
Yeah.
people are coming. Then
What?
it's really bad.
You're 2 blocks away? Yeah, we're not home. All right, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Doctors in India took 90 minutes to remove a toothbrush from the throat of a man who claimed he accidentally swallowed it. A 40-year-old businessman said he was vigorously cleaning his tongue when the toothbrush slipped out of his hand and he couldn't cough it up.
Good Lord.
Took 90 minutes to yank a toothbrush out of his throat. That's yucky. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about Valentine's Day. It's this weekend. We're going to find out what she wants. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Friday. It is the 12th of February, and we've got a lot of folks right now that are still trying to figure out what they're going to get for Valentine's Day. Because if I know men the way I think I know men, today and tomorrow are going to be busy days. Some will actually get their Valentine's gifts on Sunday, right before they actually hand them over. So what do you want for Valentine's Day, ladies? What do you want, Heidi?
I want an AR-15 and some cigars.
That is not on my list.
I bet it's not.
I don't know how valid this list is now. All right. If you don't know what to get your lady for Valentine's Day, Discover Card did a little digging to find out.
Some wine would be good,
They
too.
figured
That
out
might
what
be
they
on your
really... Well, we'll
list.
see. They say, the annual survey said that women want dinner, a special dinner, 57%. Would you like a special dinner?
We have a special dinner every night.
We do. Number 2 on the list, flowers, 48%.
No. I'm not a fan.
Number 3, chocolates, 33%.
Chocolates are always nice.
Travel or a weekend getaway,
oh my
32%.
gosh, yeah, that would be amazing.
Also on the list, jewelry, 30%. A night out on the town, 27%.
We're gone all the time, so
No.
I'm happy to stay
Books, music, DVDs, or games, 26%.
in. No,
Clothing or lingerie, 16%.
no.
An AR-15 and some cigars, just one, Heidi Small. Wow, look at that. You made the list, Heidi. Did you do this survey? That was not on the list, for real. Sure, I didn't have to tell you that. But there you go. They're saying the big thing is a special dinner. And I think when they say special dinner, I mean it's got to be a place where you don't have a drive-up window. If there's a drive-through window, even
It's
if you
not
go
special.
inside, it's still not special. Here's another idea for special dinner. Get whatever it is that your sweetheart likes, and then bring it home and have a special dinner at home. You don't necessarily have to cook it at home, but I'm saying, if you get a special dinner, bring it in and have a nice tablecloth and all that stuff, you can make almost anything romantic that way.
Yeah.
You can make it Mick-romantic, if you know what I mean. All right. That's a little study from Discover Card. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Heidi, have you ever wondered why we say something is right on the nose? When you, oh, yeah, you got it. Boom, right on the nose. You ever heard that?
I've heard
phrase,
that,
when
but
something's
I've never
exactly
thought
right?
about why it's...
There's a lot of people who think it has something to do with races and horses, but it's not. It makes sense because,
they judge the
horse
camera.
Yeah, gets it, and he beats him by a nose, but
Yeah.
that's something different. Beat him by a nose is different than on the nose. Believe it or not, the phrase on the nose comes from radio broadcasting.
Really?
When broadcasting began, directors had to communicate with people on the air without making noise, so they developed little hand signals. Time was always a key element in live broadcast. The person at the mic needed to know if they were on schedule. If things were just right, the director signaled by pointing on their nose, a finger to their nose, saying, you're right on the nose. Or if they're long, they would do this, saying you need to stretch. No,
That's
I guess that would be.
fascinating.
Or if they would do this thing to wrap it up. So their little hand signal.
I do that to you a lot.
I do
the whole wrap it up thing all the
I just
time.
realized I'm doing hand signals on the radio saying, do this. People are going, what are you doing? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even make any sense. Let's move on. Going to head to Germany coming up next.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
Have you ever had a hankering for sausage, Heidi?
Not really.
I there are some things that I really like, and sausage is one of the things
I
that
do
I like.
like sausage, but I've never been like, could really use some sausage.
Well, this guy wanted a sausage really bad, so bad that he ended up blowing his house up over this.
Oh, my goodness.
The man, only identified by Klaus, this was in Germany, came home to find his gas in his home was shut off. So in order to get his gas stove to work, and he wanted to make his sausages, he tapped directly into the gas line. All well and good until he lit up a cigarette his girlfriend offered him. The cigarette triggered an explosion that blew the roof completely off their home. Injured 7 people, including Klaus
Yikes.
and his girlfriend and 5 others. Although the explosion did an estimated $1.5 million in damages to
Holy
his
cow.
home
Must have been a nice house.
and surrounding area, thank goodness nobody was seriously injured. No, when you got a hankering for sausages, you're like, hey, my gas got shut off? That's fine. I'll just hook onto the gas and make it work myself. Well, that didn't work out too good for old Klaus, so don't do that. Coming up, we've got some tips on how to take this job and love it. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
A lot of folks that listen to this program have a job somewhere. Even if it's not full-time, they maybe work part-time or they volunteer somewhere, but they're around people. You ever get the feeling that it would just be really fun to tell your boss to shut it and walk out? Welcome to the club. Studies show that about 56% of Americans would like to do that, but it's not always possible or practical to tell the boss, take this job and shove it. So how can you take this job and love it? Miriam Biddleman. There we go. She's a psychotherapist in New York. She says there's much they can do to make themselves happier at work. Here are 7 of her top ways to take your job and love it. Number 1, buddy up. When workers bond and socialize, they build a sense of community. It's almost like a second family. So get to know some people at work and get to, maybe like some of them. So if you're not liking anybody at work right now, maybe you cheer up a little bit and start liking people. Number 2, try to do more, not less. If you do more work, you'll actually be happier, because if you're sitting around with nothing to do, you start complaining. So get busy.
I agree with that. I know on days when I got all my stuff caught up and I'm just sitting here waiting for you. It's a long day.
Snag more responsibility. Go and ask, hey, I would like to be in charge of this. Can I do that? By getting more responsibility, you actually start to like things. Next, keep photos, pictures of your spouse or kids or whatever. Even if it's just a favorite coffee mug with a picture of something on there or a saying on there, something that feels like yours is going to help you be happier at work. Head for the hills. Get away from your desk during lunch breaks and coffee breaks. Go outside. Take a walk. You're going to love it. Next, phone it in. Could any part of your work be done at home from a phone or a computer? A lot of people are now performing work from home, and that's really, really helping to make them happier as well. And the last one is let perks perk you up. Maybe a raise is out of the question, no matter if you deserve it or not. But if you go to the boss and say, I would love to have a raise. I know we've talked about that. That's not going to happen. But if I could get a little flex time, a little bit of time, I'm right now I'm considering taking off, and I don't want to do that because I do like it here, but I need something. And if you have that conversation, they're saying that your odds are pretty darn good. There you go. Some tips from Miriam Biddleman on how to take your job and love it.
There you go.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
And we always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. Today is not an exception. We've got some good news. We've got a couple of things. First of all, Valentine's Day is sneaking right up. If you want to give your loved ones a good Valentine laugh this year, they have some printable Valentine's Day cards filled with jokes and tongue twisters from iMom. I'm going to throw a link on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. So if you go there, you'll be able to see those. And you can, if you want to print them, they're printable, so you can do that. And just some fun stuff. And it's free, so there you go. Another thing, Family Life is celebrating their 40th anniversary in 2016. And it says here, in response, they want to help you remember your anniversary. We just had an anniversary yesterday.
Yes, we did.
So I remembered it. Did you remember it?
I remembered it.
We both remembered it. And anyway, the family organization shared this week they're excited to support you this year as you seek to make your anniversary extra special. Sign up at the Family Life website, and the organization will send you reminders leading up to your anniversary with ideas for celebrating. Now, where was this story a couple weeks ago?
That would have been nice.
But I already remembered, because how could I possibly forget? You're the love of my life.
16 years.
I know. Been together a long time. I mean, I'm getting to the point where I don't have any underwear from before we met. Before, I was like, oh, that's not that long. I have underwear older than that. Well, I don't think I do anymore. I really don't. So,
no, only
no
because I
socks.
throw them away after 2 holes show up.
I used to have socks older than that, but now I don't. All my socks are pretty much gone. So I think I've been with you longer than anything else in my closet, or anything else in my life, Heidi. So we got that. But if you'd like a positive way to celebrate your anniversary, again, Family Life, they're celebrating their 40th. And I'm going to throw a link on our Facebook page. They'll give you some free little ideas and tips and reminders so you don't get to a point where your anniversary sneaks up on you and go, oh, no, I didn't do anything.
That's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice that
it's really neat. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Have a great Valentine's weekend.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club, dollarshaveclub.com/radio. I've got the top 10 things a dad will never say. I thought these are funny. Number 10. How about that? I'm lost. Looks like we're going to have to stop and ask for directions. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Number 9.
You're pretty good at asking for directions.
You know, every
you
once
really
in a while,
are.
If I get really lost, I'm like, where the heck are we? I'm going to just stop
No,
somewhere.
you ask for directions all the time. You
I
do.
do?
You're good at it. Yeah, you
Okay.
do. You do way before I would, actually.
I remember one time we were in Wyoming. Remember that? We were so lost. We were driving along, and you're like, just stop and ask for directions. I'm like, I don't even know what state I'm in. I don't know if we're still in Wyoming or if we're back in South Dakota or if we're in Nebraska. I don't even know what state I'm in. So I was like, fine, I'll stop.
Only because in Wyoming you go like 4 days before you see a person. It's a little hard to ask for directions.
It was crazy. All right, number 9 on the list. You know, Pumpkin, now that you're 13, you'll be ready for unchaperoned car dates. Won't that be fun? Yeah.
No, 13.
Yeah. Hey, these are 10 things Dad will never say.
Even a mom would never. Nobody in their right mind would say that.
All right, number 8 on the list.
She'll be lucky if she's doing unchaperoned car dates when she's 18.
Number 8 on the list. I noticed that all your friends have a certain hostile attitude. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 7 on the list of things Dad will never say. Hey, here's a credit card and the keys to my new car. Just go crazy. That's not going to happen. What do you mean you want to play football? Figure skating's not good enough for you, son?
Our daughter has actually asked to play football.
Yeah. 10 things Dad will never say. Number 5, your mother and I are going away for the weekend. You might want to consider throwing a party.
You know
You've
what?
actually
I
said
have
that.
said that.
She said that to our son. She's like, I would be so proud of you if I came home and found out you had a party.
Well, he's so good. He never does anything
He is a good kid.
wrong.
Number 4. Well, I don't know what's wrong with your car. Probably one of those doohickey thingies. You know, the things that makes it run or something. Just have it towed to a mechanic and pay whatever they say it's going to be. Again, number 3 on the list of things Dad will never say. No son of mine is going to live under this roof without an earring. Now quit your belly aching and let's go to the mall. Number 2 on the list. What do you want to go and get a job for? I make plenty of money for you to spend. Here's $100. And the last thing on the list of 10 things Dad will never say. What do I want for Father's Day? Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Actually, I do say that.
Yeah.
Every year they're like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know. Just hang out with me. Let's go do something fun.
Yeah.
That's all I want. So there you go. Fun stuff. Moving right along, we've got our bonus break here, but my computer keeps popping up all kinds of stuff. Here we go. Every time we think we've found the ultimate dumb criminal story, somebody else comes along and raises the bar. And we got a good one here from New York, Rotherham, New York. While waiting for his friends to be processed on a drunken driving charge at the Rotherham Police Department, 21-year-old Adam Jewett thought he'd pick up the gumball machine at the police station, mind you,
my gosh.
in the lobby, and walk out the door with it. A dispatcher watching the surveillance system saw the whole thing, so a patrolman quickly picked Adam up in the parking lot and arrested him. He was still holding the gumball machine.
How are people that stupid?
I don't know. Did he think he was going to get away with that?
Wow.
At a police station, stealing their gumball machine? I mean, don't do that. Speaking of stealing, this is a great story here. A 26-year-old man stole a truck after he found that it had been left with the engine running in a shopping center in Vancouver, Washington. As he drove away, he reached for a cup in the truck, which he thought was a soft drink. Turns out it was the owner's chewing tobacco spit cup. Yeah. Our hero took a big swig, then immediately began to...
disgusting.
I'm getting sick thinking of it. Gag and choke. It was so bad he had to stop and call 911 for help. Little did he know, help was on the way. The owner had gotten back just in time to see him driving off and immediately called 911 himself. Cops were laughing hysterically, no doubt. They arrived minutes later. That would be so funny. So what'd you do? Drinking this stuff.
Why would you drink out of somebody else's cup anyway?
I don't know.
That's just stupid by itself.
That is. It's a bad idea. And we're going to wrap things up with this because we got an election year going on right now, and I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Heidi would probably do it. We do have a little podcast that we did. I did a podcast like a week ago, and then I did another podcast this last week. So if you want to check that out, politicalstorm.com. They're friends of ours. That's not our site. I did an interview with them. That's how I got to know them. Nice guys, neat thing. They're trying to make it so everybody has a voice, so you can go check that out, politicalstorm.com. But have you ever wondered why we swear our president in on January the 20th? You ever wonder that? The new president used to take office on March 4th, but in 1932, the occupant of the White House, Herbert Hoover, helpless to stop the nation's slide into depression, was thoroughly repudiated at the polls. Then, with the country falling apart, Hoover remained in command for another 4 months while things drifted. That's what spurred a change in the changeover date to the current January the 20th. Poor Hoover. Things were so bad that they were calling encampments for the homeless Hoovervilles. By the time March 4th arrived, he wasn't a lame duck. He was a dead duck. So it was because the issues that happened then, they were like, you know what, let's change over quicker. We have this election in November. Why are we waiting until March to switch? So they switched it up to January the 20th. Now you know why we have that date. Do you feel smarter, Heidi? You should.
Why don't we have it like the day after the election?
Well, that's not, no, you wouldn't want to do that.
Why?
Because you have to have time to get ready for the position and transition. A lot of stuff to get ready.
The president could be packing his crap up while they're voting, and you could be out so that the new guy can come right in.
What if there's an incumbent that's running for re-election? You know, if they're running for re-election, they wouldn't want to pack up their stuff because they might win, right? So I think it makes sense to have a little bit of time. And I like the fact that it's January, not March anymore. All right, it's going to do it for our bonus break. Brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.